to be able to have copyright, to register your work. It doesn't matter whether the work is quality or is the best.
How can viewers support creators in respect copyright whilst enjoying their content from the broadcasting organization?
And which body is like in charge to make sure that they are being compensated? Because we've seen artists come out to say that their songs have been used for a period of like 3 to 4 years and they are being given 100 Ghana.
What role does the international copyright agreement play in regulating the broadcasting organizations?
Hello, welcome back. This is Bnoskka IP Zone, and today too we're going to do our 15th session of our intellectual property and discussions that we're going to have in this studio. And don't forget that this is brought to you by Uprise Music. We are here to publish and distribute your works for you. And so if you need publication, please don't hesitate. I'm going to call out a number during one of our sessions, give you a number to be able to call, or even an email address to write to us, so that even if you can't come here, we can communicate and work with you wherever you are. And then when it comes to the signing part, then probably you can come to the office to come and sign. Okay? We do distribution. We publish for you and to help you make money. Of course, very important, money, right? Good. So today we want to look at broadcasting organizations, and then also program carrying signals. And then the last we'll look is registration of copyright. Is it necessary? Right. So let me come to the studio and see this wonderful guest I have here on my left and my right. Please, let me hear your names and where you have come from. Let me start with you.
Right, so my name is Samuel Bananjan. I'm a student.
Oh, Samuel. And my lady here.
My name is Margaret Doe, but you can also call me Max. I am a recording artist, and soon my song will be out there for you all to see, okay? So stay tuned.
Lovely. My name also is Benjamin Odru Ahin Jr., but I prefer you call me Bnoskka. I'm telling you. Right. So let's move right into action, but I want you to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like, you share the video, and then you tell friends about what we're doing here. If you want to come and join us in here studio, yes, you can also do, so that you can be part of the in-house people who are here to be able to express your concerns. But if you can't be here at the same time, then you can also comment on it and write to us, and we'll be able to look at your comment and address them when necessary. But if you want to ask questions that is not related to what we've done, you can look at our episode 1 up to 14th. Okay, we've dealt with so many issues, and I'm sure you'll be able to find your answer. Right, so let's start. Program broadcasting organization. So by copyright law, section 33, it talks about broadcasting organization. So let's define what is a broadcasting organization. And a broadcasting organization is a company or an entity or a corporation that have decided to combine pictures and sound to show images to public, to everywhere. So, for example, we can have a broadcasting company such as GBC, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. And some of the stations they show their programs on are GTV, Oboru TV. And then they have another FM station called Unique FM. And then almost all the regions in Ghana, they have regional stations. Some of them, Radio Central, Sunrise in Kofodia, Unique in Accra, a lot all across the country. Then we have private individuals who are also broadcasting. Some of them such as UTV, right? TV3, Metro TV. We used to even have Viasat one here in Ghana. we have Crystal TV, we have Kantanka TV, we have Step 1 TV, we have Live TV, we have Cash TV, we have a lot. Unia TV is also there. Hot TV is there. So many TV stations. Wesleyan TV is there. Pentecost TV, Assemblies TV, Utek TV, so many stations. And they are all broadcasting. So what do they do and how does it apply to copyright? Now, by law, once you are making your productions, your broadcasting, you are supposed to produce your own content. Like we sit here, we are talking. So as a TV station, if you look at something like a TV station like BBC or CNN or Al Jazeera or DW, okay, they don't play music. Why? Because they don't want to have any issue to do with copyright of people's works. So all they do is they have their own signature tune. They have created it themselves, paid for it. If you listen to BBC, if you look at CNN, they have their own signature tune. They will never play any song. They will show 5 seconds, 10 seconds of a program that this music event happened here, this music program happened here, without showing any of the songs in that. Why? So that they don't pay any copyright. And once you do that, once your station is also going to other countries, then you have to be able to pay royalties to every other country where your signal penetrates. If you play music and if you stream people's videos, okay? So broadcasting corporations, or by their works, they are supposed to produce their own content so that they have rights over that content. And the law says that once they create their own content, then their content will last for 40 years before it will fall in the public domain. Unlike an individual author, which will become 70 years. But for a broadcasting corporation, their copyright duration is 40 years. Now, let's look at program carrying signals and how it infringes on copyright. Now, when we say program carrying signals, they are also a broadcasting organization that have the rights in relation to 8 programs carrying signals to prevent the distribution to the Republic or from the Republic of any signal by any distributor for whom the signals were not intended for. Okay, so let's take, for example, DSTV. If you want to watch DSTV, you have to go and buy their decoder that it is intended for you. You buy their decoder, you pay their subscription, and then whatever program they are showing is intended for you. That is how it is. HD Plus decoder has also come. It's a Philly experience. So you buy their decoder and you get their content right from them. There's also multi-TV. You buy their decoder and then you are able to watch their programs. Now, let's assume that these programs they are showing, you have to buy their decoder. But then you find out that you have gotten their satellite codes and all that. So you also mount your own satellite and you're able to break into their system and then you watch their programs for free. When you do, by this Copyright Act, it was not intended miss. So you are infringing on your right, on their right. So you will have to pay for that. And if they catch you, it's a criminal offense. You will go to jail for that. So we have to try and avoid that. But let's look at how one of these things also tried to infringe on our rights as artists and musicians and all that. Now, if a broadcasting corporation, through their program carrying signals, they decide to play your music video, they have to pay. It is not for free. They have to pay. In fact, they don't have to even come and look for you to pay to you. They have to pay the money to a quality management organization here in Ghana known as GAMO and then ASOG. Because it is video, it is Audiovisual Society of Ghana. You have to pay to them. Okay, so that's what the law says. And then also, they have to also make sure that any advert that they are making, the advert they are going to play, all the songs in it, the right owners have been settled. Because if they make any advert and the right owners have not been settled, and then the case is picked up in court, they will be charged as also defendants. They will be attached, they will be jointly sued. So let's say, Bnoskka, I have a song, and then one company decided to use my song for an advert, and they did not see me, and then they play the advert on any of these program carrying signals. Okay? Once I have notified, I have noticed by infringement, then I will sue the program carrying signal or the broadcasting corporation, and then whoever that the advert is coming from. Let's say the advert is coming from Uprise Music. So I'll sue Uprise Music and I'll sue the program carrying signals. So that when it gets to court, they will decide how they will share the damages. So that if they have to say that indeed they were paid only to advertise, they did not take part in the shooting of the video. That is how it is done. So broadcasting corporations are not supposed to play videos, people's movies. So sometimes you would hear companies like DSTV and HD Plus complaining that people should stop finding dubious means to watch their signals. And this is also not appropriate. So we must try and avoid all these things. The rights of a broadcasting organization referred to in this act protect until the expiration of 40 years from the date of making their broadcast or their signal. So until 40 years passes, let's say today's program they do, it has to be 40 years before you can pick that video and do whatever you want to do with it. If that 40 years has not come, then you need to go and seek their permission, just like an individual person's right. So this is how it is. Now, let's look at registration of copyright. The law says in section 39 that the copyright administrator appointed under by the president shall open and maintain register in which shall be registered association of authors, works and productions. And what purpose? It says that the purpose of registration are, so if you want to register your works with Copyright Office, what's the purpose? Because we said earlier that copyright registration is not mandatory. You can decide to go and register your work. You can decide not to register. So why is the law saying that there's copyright registration? It says for the purpose of registration, it shall be to maintain a record of works, to publicize the rights of the owners, and to give evidence of the ownership and authentication of intellectual property. So if you go to Copyright Office to go and register your works, it is not that they are going to make you the owner. No, it's just to keep a register and then also to publicize your right. They publish in the news that these are the people who have come to register this and this and that. So that if anybody hears a song or watch a movie and they want to know who has that right, they can watch that advertisement and be able to approach the office. And also to give evidence. When an issue goes to court and we are battling as to who really owns this work, the Copyright Office, through their registration system that they have, they can be able to come and say that this person came to register at this day and this time. And so therefore, we can say that they are the rightful owners. And then it says that a publisher of work in the Republic may submit the work for registration by the copyright administrator after its publication, or 2 copies of the best edition may be deposited at the Copyright Office. Copyright protection of a work shall not be dependent on the registration of the work. So once you register your work, if you want to register, the law says that you must go with your ID card and then 2 best copies of the work. And when you go, you pay a fee determined by the copyright administrator. And then once that is done, it does not matter whether you have come to register, you have not registered. Copyright is still your own. You have the right as a copyright owner. Now, one aspect that I want us to be clear is about presumption of authorship. Here simply means that when you go and register your works, it does not mean that the registration is confirming on you the owner of the work. Okay. But the law says that you are presumed as the author until proven otherwise. So let's say, for example, myself and Meg made a song, and then she goes to register and she says, add my name. And then I also go and then say that, I'm coming to register, so somebody has already registered. Then you have to call her and then withdraw the certificate from her and make it joint for the 2 of us. So until anybody comes to prove your registration at the Copyright Office, you are not acclaimed, you are presumed author. We are saying that you say that you are an author, you are the owner of this, so we are accepting your work. So if somebody comes to prove otherwise, then that registration will be cancelled. So that is what it means. So registration does not confer ownership. The right of the author is not guaranteed. And then also copyright, to be able to have copyright, to register your work. It doesn't matter whether the work is quality or is the best, or it is long or short. No, it can be a special laugh you have, and you can go and copyright it. And you can register it. It's still your own. It doesn't matter whether the song was mixed well or mastered well, or the music video was shot well or not. If it is showed on TV, with irrespective of the quality content, you have a right to claim your economic right from it. So this is how I think program carrying signals and broadcasting corporations works, and how we can register our works so that if there are infringement. Right, so in-house, any questions for me? And then we will turn to the audience as well.
Yeah, Bnoskka, I have a question. My first question would be, how can viewers support creators in respect copyright whilst enjoying their content from the broadcasting organization?
All right. So first of all, viewers need to respect that if you are watching somebody's movie on the TV, it is not for you to pick up your phone and then capture a scene on the TV and then also be sharing just like that. When you do, you are not only infringing on the artist's right on the TV, but the broadcasting corporation also, you are infringing on their right. And then you are also not supposed to pick the signal of the TV, record everything, and then be playing it at people's programs. Okay, once you do that, you are not helping the artist, and you are also infringing on the right of the broadcasting organization. So let us all try to avoid doing those things. In fact, a lot of people do that. Mex, I've seen a lot of people do these things, but just that the right owners have decided to keep quiet. The day they pick them up, it will be to their disadvantage. Yes.
Okay, so say in a situation where someone takes a TV commercial to a broadcasting house to be aired, and then so upon further question, they realize that they questioned the individual, and it was like, oh, he has gone through all the necessary copyright checks and all that. But then when they aired the TV commercial, they got feedback that the person did actually go through the necessary processes. In that instance, who is supposed to be held responsible for infringing on the rights?
Okay, so like I said earlier, the TV and the advertising agency and the owner of the advert, so that these three people will have to be jointly sued in court, so that it will be able to be clear as to who caused the infringement, and it is the court that will be able to decide.
Cool.
Mine is to just to alert you that this is how far an infringement can take place. Sometimes, I remember certain cases that we dealt with. The right owners had a song on a radio station that they are using their song for adverts. And then we contacted the radio station. They also gave us the contact of their advertising agency. The advertising agency also said it's from this company. We went there and they said, we only contracted this advertising agency to make advert. We didn't know they have to take a song. So, okay, then the three of you should come together and then pay. In the end, the owner of the company's advert, together with the advertising agency, had to settle the bill. It didn't go to court. This one, I was personally involved, not once, not twice. So this is how it goes about. It is up to you. If you owe a broadcasting corporation, make sure that when people are coming to air their adverts, you can decide to do any check. You can decide not to do any check. The onus lies on them, not you. So that is what I would say.
Okay, so what role does the International Copyright Organization and has with what role does the International Copyright Agreement play in regulating the broadcasting organizations?
Yes, so we have what we call the Universal Copyright Convention, and this Universal Copyright Convention protects all TV carrying signals across the world.
Okay.
And before you be given a license as a broadcaster, you would also have to sign an agreement that you will also do what is right. So that if somebody is infringing on your right, you will be protected as well. So this is how it goes. And even in Ghana, We have the National Media Commission that grants licenses to televisions and radio stations. And they also sign what kind of content they are going to produce and how would they also be able to respect the rights of content producers across the country and beyond.
So say, if songs of or works of artists are being used in TV commercials, played by TV stations and all that, and they are supposed to be compensated for all this.
Yeah.
But and which body is like in charge to make sure that they are being compensated? Because we've seen artists come out to say that their songs have been used for a period of like 3 to 4 years and they are being given 100 Ghana or like.
Okay.
So which bodies are making sure that everything is in their right place?
This one I'll ask you first. If your phone gets missing, which bodies make sure that your phone is found? Or who would know that your phone is missing? Or somebody has stolen your phone? I want you to help me here. Today I want to find answers from yourself too.
Okay, so
Let's assume that you wake up and your phone is stolen. What will be your first action?
Okay, so first of all, I'll check through my windows or my environment to see that if there was any intruder. But then if maybe I'm in the same room with someone, the person will be the first person like I'm
Suspect.
question. Yeah.
Right. Good. So in the same way for copyright, if you notice that your song is on part of somebody's advert on TV or on radio, you have to find out your manager or your father or your mother who authorized somebody. If nobody has authorized anybody and you haven't gotten any money from them, then it means definitely it's an infringer. So it's an intruder who has intruded in your intellectual property. So you have to go to court or go to police station. If it's about criminal aspects, go to police station. At the same time, go file at court to get civil remedies. We'll look at remedies, infringement, and how to handle it in the next episode.
Okay,
But
so
it is not any government established institution to be making sure that people's rights are protected. It is an individual responsibility. Like your house, your car. If you wake up one morning and somebody has broken into your car, will you go and blame the police for protecting your car? No. So the same way it works with copyright. If your songs are being used for adverts, sometimes I see people's songs are being played on advertisement trailer. They have a car with sound systems on it and they are roaming it out. They play so many times and they are even videoing.
It's called market activation.
Market activations, and they have gotten no right over it. And then you are at home, you say, oh, my songs is popular. Wow, they are using it market activation. You are wasting money. So you must make sure that you've got money from that. And if we all do, I don't think people would live poor life when their songs are in hits.
So I also have another question. So how can the broadcasting organizations balance the need for profitability with the fair compensation of content creators?
Okay, so one of the things I think they need to do is to make sure that every month, whatever production they do, they have to make sure that if they play people's songs in it, they log, and then they say that we play this person's song, this for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And then they pay to collective management organization, which is either ASOG or GAMDA, and so that FM stations and TV stations as well. And then once they do that, then they'll be able to know that, okay, we want to make more profit. If we want to keep playing people's music videos and films, we'll pay to them. So let's create our own content.
Okay.
Like the ways the sports DSTV stations do. There are specific stations for movies. They get the right before they come and show. There are specific stations for sports. They get the right from the sporting agency before they come and show it on TV. That is why you can watch CNN, and for how many years you will never hear them play one song. Why? Because they don't want to go and pay anything. They create their own content and then they broadcast so that they can maximize profit. So that when people advertise on them, they make money. And that is an advice I will give to them. And it's also for artists to also make sure that they don't lose guard when their songs are being used for this advertisement. Okay. Yeah. Any follow-up?
Yeah, so is there a law that states that probably if you use an artist to work for like 5 seconds or even 10 seconds in a TV commercial, you're supposed to pay this particular amount for using that duration?
Okay, so we have what we call the copyright, LI, a legislative instrument, which determines how the Copyright Office should work with collective management organization to be able to determine these prices. But it's something that is not communicated easily. And so the Copyright Office would have to work with a collective memory organization and to come out with modalities that will be evident to all. If you go to UK, they say if you play somebody's song for 5 seconds, you have to pay 0.005 pence, which is less than a pound. Then if you play up to 1 minute, you pay 50 pence. And if you pay after 2 minutes, you pay £1.47. Okay? If you go to America too, they have the same system. If you play 3 minutes, you pay like $1.57. If you go to other countries, it's only here in Ghana that we have not gotten such things in place. But if we all understand that we need it and we rise up, then they will sit up and do the needful.
So my final question is that for us to be able to like be intentional about what we are doing, do we need like a collective mindset, or it's just that we don't have the proper structures in place that should be able to like check and make sure that everything is?
One, like you said, we need a collective mindset to be able to make sure that what is due us is granted. And then we also we need to make sure that the organizations established works in our favor. Okay? So these are things I wish that everybody understand. Most of the times, you have some artists, their mindset is that they want to be popular. So their songs is being used in so many different ways, and you contact them and they say, oh, let it go, let it go, let it go. If you let it go, then how will you make money? So it is not something that you can force people. In fact, there's a new, what we call new music business paradigms, where there are people's worldview about it is just to become popular. So what will you do? But I would want to wish that if you are watching me at home, wherever you are, make sure that it is in your own interest to protect your rights. And don't say that because this person is not protecting his right, I will also let go. No. If we rise up and we come together, like you said, collective mindset, it will help us. Sometimes the collective management organization, I want to say it on this platform, they are paying people who don't deserve it because you don't have a log system to show which song did what, how many durations of hours or minutes were played on radio for this month. And then you are paid. How did you pay? Right. So these are the issues. If we rise up, and that is why I would say that the Musicians Union and all the other organizations should come together and make sure that they fight this cause. And together, it will be good for all of us. You have any question?
So when it comes to the broadcasting corporations, can they contract content creators under
License agreement?
yes,
Yeah.
work for them?
Yes.
And so that they can use their content.
Exactly. Look, there was one time I appeared on the, I went to a program to appear on the KSM show with somebody. The person was going to be, and I was the manager. So I had to direct the person. Then KSM pulled up a document that signed your rights in this broadcasting we are going to do, so that you will not later come and say that this pull it down, do this. And then I read through and said, oh, okay, wow, that's sign. We signed it, and then it happened. So content creators can be engaged. In fact, if you go to all TV stations, sometimes the owner doesn't do anything. All he knows is he has the money and the ideas to work. So he employs people who are presenters, singers, and blah, blah, blah. And once you are going on the show, they give you a paper to sign. Some stations in abroad, I remember I went to some station abroad, they wouldn't want you to wear any clothes that has a company advertisement in front, because they say the marketing department will say that you advertise another company, so they have to pay for it. So they'll make sure they'll give you something to wear that does not show anything. Sometimes they don't even want religious implications, like words about Jesus, about Muhammad, about why. They don't want to see that. So they will give you something to wear that to cover all these things. So broadcasting organizations are trying to shy away from copyright infringements that will create problems. Sometimes you are coming with somebody's picture in your front, and maybe the person will sue them that he has not granted you that permission to do so. So they want to avoid that. So they try to be able to stay out of all this. Yeah. Any other question? Any other question? In the house, any question? All right. So let me use this opportunity to sign out and say that it has been a wonderful 15th episode on this Bnoskka IP Zone. It is brought to you by Uprise Music. Come here for your publication and distribution. And of course, you will make money. This is Bnoskka. I'm telling you, join us. This is Uprise Music, right? I want to see you here. Come, and then we'll do business. And I want to say that if you want to call us, 0245 024 002, and we'll be able to give you business. You can be at home, and you can be able to give us all that we need so that we work together. This is Bnoskka. I'm telling you. Wonder.